Hey,
Hey guys, what's up?
how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm actually happy. I don't know why I'm excited for this Friday.
Oh, me
It,
too.
yeah, it's just different this time, which it's not like I have that much to do, but I don't know. It's always great when you hear, it's Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, a reason to put on lip gloss. Okay,
Right?
cool.
Right? To do something. Yeah. It's like we're all stuck in home. It's like, what do you really? I have so many outfits I've purchased and clothes from quarantine. Like, I have so many outfits to wear whenever.
Exactly. That's what
When
I'm
we're,
like. This is a blessing.
yeah,
I
it's
have
it
so
is.
many things to wear. I have
I
a
know it's a blessing and
uniform.
a curse.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
have a
50-50.
uniform though. You know that
You
I've
know,
been rocking. So this is one of
but
them.
no,
Black T-shirt.
black tea. Hey, you gotta have it on. Always black. I love black. Anything black, it's me too.
It
But
goes with everybody.
yeah, it's helps everything. It's the best thing I feel. But how has quarantine been for you? How because I know it's different for everyone. And how's this week going for you in specifically?
This week,
Would you say this week and then quarantine overall?
quarantine overall has been pretty good. I've been
Okay.
very creative.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of time to create and to do some things that I kind of put off.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm kind of used to it now. If you would have asked me that in the beginning, I'm like,
Yeah.
is this our new way of life? You know, I wear a
Yes.
mask, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to be considerate of other people and stuff. I know people are like, you don't have to wear one, but there's so much going on. I'm like, let's just be considerate. I wore a
Exactly.
mask before COVID-19, actually, when I traveled anyway. So
Oh, that's
wasn't
good. So you
that
were
probably
prepared
wasn't
already.
new, yeah. But
Yeah, that's good. That's
yeah.
really
What
good.
about you?
Um,
Are you happy?
I'm a homebody. So if there's not a purpose to be outside, I really don't like. Some people they need like consistent friends, or
Yeah.
I'm very much. I could be by myself. I'm content. Except, yeah, I don't need. And people ask me like, my old roommates used to say to me like, "How could you just stay in your room?" I'm like, "Why not? What's the problem? Like, it's not. It's not that I'm antisocial. It's just I'm okay being by myself. And with quarantine, I'm like, this ain't that bad. Well, I know, but I feel bad for the people that need
Yeah.
that, like constant friends or family around. I feel bad for them people because unfortunately that's how they are. Where luckily I'm not. And like you said, you're the same way. So for us,
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm like on the borderline of being an extrovert and an introvert. Depending on the day, I can be an
that's
introvert.
yeah.
The next day, I
Mm-hmm.
might be a little more outgoing, but I'm good either way. And
Yeah.
plus I'm flexible and adaptable, so I just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
And but I do share that sentiment. Like some people are really struggling, so
Yeah.
I want to be considerate of them. Everybody's not feeling this much joy like what we
Yeah,
can, you
I'm
know.
the same way. Like introvert, because people always ask me like, "How do you do interviews, but you're quiet in a
Right.
way?" I'm like, "Well, it's different when you get on camera or in
Yes.
front. Anything. I think any kind of entertainment, it's like it's just something that happens. But outside, if I don't know you, I'm definitely not coming up to say hi to you first. I'm it's just
There are so many entertainers that are introverts. You know that, right? It's
yes,
like
it's crazy.
you have to have your own lane for that. You're in your quiet lane at home, you recharge, and then when it's time to perform, you get out and you do what you do, and then you go back into your shell like a little
Hmm.
electric car and you recharge. So
Definitely. That's exactly how I feel. And it's just weird how it's like most of entertainers I feel. It's very rare you see a lot of entertainers that are completely extroverted and, all about some like the attention a lot, but I
yeah,
feel a lot of entertainers, depending on movies, music, just more media, most of them are introverted, I feel. It's interesting to
I
see
think so
though.
too. Because
Yeah, it's really
you know
interesting.
what? Because you can tap in a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
there's no
But
narcissists on this call, I
yeah.
guess.
But I want to ask you first, I want to bring it all the way back. Even, before you got signed, what were you doing before you got signed? And I also want to know, how did you come up with your stage name?
Okay,
Mhm.
before I got signed, which time? Because I've had two deals.
So I guess I would
You mean
say
my solo project?
you're solo. Yeah, you're solo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was in a singing group.
Yep, I know you were in a singer group
Yeah, and
before, right?
we were
Uh-huh.
signed to Dallas Austin's label with Arista Records. So that's what I
Okay.
was doing before I got signed. Our project was never released. It was so great. I was like, oh, I wish we could release it now. It was really a dope project,
Uh-huh.
especially for the time. And the group kind of went their separate ways. So, oh, I thought I turned off my notification. Sorry about that.
Fine.
So the group kind of went their separate ways, and then there was one person in the group that wanted to introduce me to this guy, you know, that was a producer. And she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "You're a writer. You got to meet him. You got to meet him." And I was like, I'm not doing music anymore. I'm done," because I was kind of hurt that the group kind of broke up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "No, you got to meet him." She was very persistent. So I meet him, and then we hit it off. We started writing songs and this, that, and the third. And then he asked me if I would demo a song for him.
Okay.
And the song was "Love You Down." So I was just demoing it. It was not supposed to be for me.
Really?
It
That
wasn't.
is crazy.
It became mine, but
Because I didn't know there was a remake until after so many
exactly.
years. I thought that was like, it's so
I
interesting
wrote the
because, like,
third
you learn.
verse. I rewrote it, you know, so it can kind of fit with me and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But no, that's "Ready for the World" song. Melvin Riley, they wrote that song, you know.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, but it was cool because I was, you know, I was focusing on my songwriting, and when I
Mm-hmm.
demoed the song, Little John heard it. He was like, "Is she white or black?" And Charles was like, "Both."
Well,
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
okay.
He's a Caucasian dude too, so the producer is. So that was like our running joke. But
Uh-huh.
he was like, "Do you think she'd do the song?" And he's like, "She doesn't want to be an artist right now. She's kind of just writing." And then he offered me some money, and
Okay.
then I said, "Okay, I think I can
Okay.
do that." So that's how that came to be. And before that, I was still doing music.
Yeah.
I was actually in school doing music, and I was teaching school. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's dope. Then I want to ask you, how did you get your name? I always wonder that.
Okay, so to piggyback on what I just said, so
Uh-huh.
Little John knew that I didn't want to be an artist, and that was part of our deal that the song would not be released
Okay.
because I didn't want to be an artist. He
Mm-hmm.
said, "Well," and I said, "Maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but for now, this is what I just want to write." So he was like, "Well, what are you going to call yourself?" And I said, "Well, I could do the opposite of my name, Yanni." And he was like, "How are you going to pronounce it?" I said, "INOJ." He was like, "All right, that's what we did." So it's just Yanni backwards.
Oh,
So I could
I
preserve,
never
like
knew
if I wanted
that.
to use Yanni or my given name Ayana, if I wanted to use either one of those, they would still be
Mm-hmm.
available to me. But the universe had other plans, clearly.
That is so interesting. I never even, I mean, I knew your name, but your real name, I just never,
If
I
you
don't know, I
put it
guess
in
I
the
was,
mirror, you know, you see,
yeah, if you look in the mirror, yes.
yeah.
But otherwise, like, I don't know, I guess I was so young too, like, because I was a young music head. Like, I was literally like probably 9, 10 years old,
Wow.
going to Sam Goody, buying my single cassettes or, Coconuts or Tower Records.
Coconuts, you know,
Co-
coconuts. Oh my
yes.
gosh, where are you?
I'm in, I'm sorry, what?
Where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, do they have coconuts in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. They had it here. I actually met R. Kelly at Coconuts here in
Here,
Atlanta.
that's so crazy. Yeah, I was a music, like, I didn't go normal kids for, like, their birthday. Their parents would bring them to, like, a toy store. I was like, "Mom, bring me the Coconuts. Bring me to the single cassette." Like,
I love it.
and I used to, literally, she used to tell me, like, there used to be, like, 49-cent ones, 99 cents, and then the ones that weren't on sale were $2.49. And she'd be like, "Okay, pick 20." And I would pick my 20, and
Wow.
she would, that's how, like, I was such a music head at a young, people were like, "Nick, how do you know I'm like, I don't know, I liked music. I started liking music when I was like 5 years old.
Wow.
And I knew, like, artists, I knew, the song titles, and people were like, "It's so interesting you like music at that young of an age."
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I've been in it for a long time. I just
yeah.
love it. I was just drawn to it, and I started playing piano and singing and stuff like that. I didn't start writing till I was about 7 or 8,
Uh-huh.
but the songs they're like really corny.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could count that, but that's when I first did my attempt. They were super corny.
That's
But yeah.
funny. I wanted to ask you too, like, because you were in a girl group, were you nervous to go solo? Because
Yeah.
like because you have those other members to back you. You know, if you forget a dance move, if you forget a lyric, they're there to help and help you just regardless of anything going on personally. They're kind of like your sisters or brothers.
Yeah, you just called me out on that one because
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I was like, I'm not going to be an artist because first of all, the girls were irreplaceable to me. I loved them
yeah,
like sisters. We had been together. One of the girls in the group, we were roommates in college. So it was just like, oh, how do I do this? I was too afraid. If I was going to be solo, I wouldn't have been in a group in the first place. But
yes.
like I said, it's like the universe had other plans and I had to step up and do something, you know? But when I said I wasn't going to release a song, that kind of gave me that little safety covering so I could be protected in. But before, I guess, viral was a thing, my song went viral
Yeah,
because they didn't release the song. It wasn't a single until like a year after it was released.
I
You know, I
remember
mean, a year
that.
after it was kind of, I guess it would be kind of leaked because DJ started playing it. And then,
That's what it was. I heard it on
yeah,
the radio all the time, and I was like, "Who is this?" Like, that's how I remember hearing your song.
yeah. So I was, like I said, I was teaching school. Let's see, school got out in June in Maryland. I was still living in Maryland
Hmm.
at the time. And I remember getting a call like the last week of school and said, can you be in Atlanta in 2 weeks? And I was like, why? They were like, you need to shoot a music video. And I was like, for what? Your song. Your song's blowing up. I was like, oh no. I was
No,
freaking out. Like, what do I do now? And then this was the caveat. They were like, hey, and you have a show in Toronto. So we're going to get you some dancers so you can perform. I was like, I'm not an artist. And I was scared. Yes.
yeah,
So much. I was really, really, really scared when I went to that show in Toronto. And it was televised. It was on TV and everything. It was just like, yeah, I was literally jumped into the game.
that's so awesome. Though. That's so awesome to hear, though, because like you said, we didn't have social media. You just went viral from DJs playing it, and then the radio DJs getting grabbing onto it and playing it. That's
And
so
you see how
awesome.
much influence DJs have. DJs need
Yes.
like to get all the props, you know?
Yeah, 100%. But how was it for you? Like, I know you said you were nervous, but like when when you filmed the video and then it just, I mean, it was one of them songs of the summer that year, I remember. And not even that summer, it was multiple years.
Yeah, it kept going. And I still
Yes.
get pretty good royalties from it. So
Uh-huh.
I'm very blessed
Yes.
in that regard. But the video was fun.
Was it? Okay,
That was
that's good
fun.
to know.
I was like, oh, I like this. And then the guys that were with me with the dancers and stuff like that, I really had a good time. So it took me a while to, I still had to keep my training wheels on. Like my first
Hmm.
show, I sounded like crap. I know I did, but I
Yeah.
still did the show. People
Uh-huh.
were like, oh my God, it was great. I was like, no, it wasn't. I've heard better.
That's so funny. And I want to ask you too, like, because it's so interesting because like you said, the first single I didn't know was a cover. The second single, Time After Time, I didn't know that was a cover until like, it was
Yeah,
funny. I think I was listening to it on my single cassette. I remember because the cover is like brown and it's your face on the right side,
yeah.
I think.
It was
And,
that was a picture from Love You Down. They just took a
yeah,
screenshot
the screenshot.
of
Yep.
Love You Down at the end. So
Yes. And I was playing it and my mom's like, who's singing this?
she
And
like
I'm like, I know Jay. I'm like,
blasphemy.
yeah, I'm like, I know Jay. She's like, no, she's like, this is a remake. And I
Yeah.
really didn't understand what that meant at that age. I guess because I was like 10 or 11. So I was like, no, this is I know Jay. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, this is her song. She's like, no, Nick, this is Cyndi Lauper. She remade it, but
Yeah.
she made it more, she did a different spin on it. She's like, it's still
Ah,
good. And that's when I finally knew, like a year later, I was like, it's so fun. Because I didn't know. I was like, oh my God, this song is awesome. And then my family members were like, oh yeah, that's a remake. And I was like, oh,
yes.
okay. I didn't
That is,
understand. Yeah.
see, I knew Cyndi Lauper, and I'm a big fan of Cyndi Lauper.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't have a deal with So So Def at this time. It was just that single,
Yeah.
and the song did better than Columbia or So So Def thought it was gonna do. So then they offered me another opportunity to be on So So Def Bass All Stars Volume 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and Little John was like, "You like Cyndi Lauper?" I was like, "Yeah, you should do a Cyndi Lauper song." And then we were going back and forth on which one to do. He was like, you should do Time After Time. And I was thinking like, oh man, I would like to do one less popular.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to remake people's songs
Mm-hmm.
and not do a good job. And I was performing in Jersey Shore when that song was being released. And I was just performing Love You Down. And I said, hey guys, I'm going to debut my new single. And I was scared. I was really scared. And I was like, please let them like it. And then I started singing it and they just went crazy. I was like, oh snap, they like it. Yay! And just started having fun. You know, like Night at the Roxbury.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's bobbing their head.
Right. So I didn't know that it was going to be like a top 10 Billboard song at the time, but
Yeah.
that was like a good
huge,
indication
too.
that it was going to be another hit for me.
Yeah, and like, were you nervous because all 3 singles off your album were covers. Was that nerve-wracking to you at all?
Yes. Okay,
Was
the
it?
third single was really an original. It was called All I Want. I wrote that song. That was supposed to be the third single. Let's see. I'll give you a little. Do you remember that pop-up video show that came
Yeah,
on
on VH1.
So this is
Yep.
the pop-up video version of what happened.
Okay.
I did not want to remake another song. I'm a
Okay.
songwriter. I was very upset about it. Like my manager, he even said, I felt like we were held at gunpoint to do that song. And I was like, I did not want to do it. So I think I'm caught here. So when I went into the studio, I kind of tried to mess up the song so they wouldn't pick it. You know, I didn't do my best. And it's sad to say now because I always do my best now. I'm like, oh, you should have sucked it up and did better. But truth is, I didn't. And then the label heard it. They were like, we love it. I was like,
No. No.
like, I didn't want you to love it. So we did another video for that. But the song All I Want was released overseas. And then that was supposed to be the next single. But you know what? It's like the label, they want to do what works. They were like, you know what? She can do remakes and people love it. Let's do this one. But every remake is not for me, you know?
True, yeah. Every remake isn't meant to be remade sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I like Anita Ward's song the way it was.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I didn't want to try to do anything different or try to remake it because it was already made perfectly the way it was. And truthfully, the other 2 songs were as well too. You know?
Yeah.
It was just a matter of trying something different. So Ring My Bell was kind of like, I guess, resistance for me. I didn't want to do it. But yeah. That's what happened with that.
All the other songs on there were your originals.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because there's some good songs on there.
Thank you.
Like, that was a dope, like, it was a good body of work. It wasn't like you just had, like you said, all remakes and,
yeah,
you know, they were just picking and choosing. You had, but I know what you're saying. Like, at that time, labels and, you know, the big heads and the labels and management and all that, they have the final say, unfortunately, which, I mean, there's pros and cons because you really don't know if it would have worked or not because they just had you, you know, on the remakes, which is, it's so weird. Like, I look back researching and doing all my, you know, homework to interview you, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize. Like, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I can't believe those are all remakes. Like,
yeah,
because I still think like the Love You Down, I still think that's your song, and it's so crazy. And I love that you named your album after them.
I wanted to give a nod to them because because of their record that gave me my start.
That's so dope because I feel like too many artists have too much pride to do that.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen that with any other artist because a lot of artists have made a, you know, or sampled something in their single where it's huge and you know what it's from, but they'll never say, you know, who recorded it.
Yeah.
So it's dope you did that.
Well, thank you.
I want to ask you too, I've argued with so many people about this and people are like, no, that's INOJ. I'm like, no, that's not. But
it's
so
not
many people,
I already know what you're going to ask. It's not me.
It's not you.
I was teaching school.
It's so, yeah. Like, how was it for you?
My first song was Love You Down. And,
yeah.
But really, we don't even sound alike. Virgo's dope. She has her own vibe. We don't even sound alike. I don't even know where that started from, but I was just like, oh boy, not again. It's just, it's exhausting. I'm sure it's exhausting for them too, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know how they got started because I would argue with friends and they were like, so, I'm like, no, I'm like, it doesn't even sound like her.
Yes, and see, since you're a music head, you know that. But that's, you know what, it
Exactly.
goes to show you that something on the internet can just be taken and you can just run with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I didn't get that, and so many people. Still, I'll even look on like YouTube, and they'll have your name
Yeah.
and then my boo, and I'm like, it's so
So,
wrong.
whoever, I don't know who that is, what's his name? Something for the Heart, Jams for the Heart, whoever that is who put that up. They used my picture from Ring My Bell when I'm kind of doing like this or doing something. I don't know. But I don't even know where they got that. They made their own cover, Jams for the Heart. They have like 10 million views on there, and it's not even, none of the information is right. That's the Ring My Bell cover, having somebody else's voice with my name on it. And I was like,
Yeah, that's the sad part about
if
it.
anybody's listening and they tag me in one, I just don't acknowledge them because I don't want to keep perpetuating that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's
I think
understandable.
all artists deserve their credit, you know? So
100%. Yeah, but I wanted to ask you too, how did you get linked up with So So Def? Like, how did that all come about? Because that's so, I mean, So So Def is still huge, but at that time it was really, I mean, it was one of the labels you want to be a part of.
yeah, so interesting. So the guy that I told you, his name is Charles the Mixologist.
Okay.
He produced Love You Down and Time After Time. He was a DJ at WPGC in DC.
Okay.
So funny to say that. So he was producing and he was doing remixes and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool because he had connects with a lot of people. And when my friend was trying to hook us up as a writing team, I didn't know any of that. She just thought it would be a good match. Well, he knew Little John from a couple remixes that he did. I actually sang on a remix for Aretha Franklin.
Okay. That's awesome.
I don't know how that happened. I don't sound anything like Aretha Franklin. But I'm singing background vocals on it. It's the Here We Go Again remix. So they did that. And I think that might have been one of Little John's projects. So he asked Charles, he said, hey, you know, I'm getting ready to do So So Def Bass All Stars Volume 2. You know, can you produce something for the record? So I wrote a song, and he liked the song. And that's why he asked me to demo the other song, because he liked my voice on the first one.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that was my next question, too. Like, Little John, at that time, I don't think I even knew Little John, to be honest.
He's in all three of my videos, too.
I was watching them back, and I'm like, holy crap, he's not just in it for like a second. He's in it for multiple shots throughout each video. So, like, how did you all meet? Because that's like, it's crazy because I was like, I never noticed that. I remember Little John more of like, what year did he really? Yeah, like 2004, 2005. I remember, like, I remember seeing him on the Little John, the East Side Boys tour with Eminem and 50 Cent on the Anger Management 3 tour. That's 2005. So that's what.
See, Little John was doing his thing a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't realize
he taught me about crunk and showed me how to like get crunk and stuff like that. Little John came up to Maryland where I was when we were first doing Love You Down because he wanted to meet me and stuff like that. And that's where we talked about my name and changing it and stuff like that. When I originally recorded Love You Down, it was in the original key of the song, which is very low for me. Yeah. Even the one I did is very low for me because I have like a mid-soprano type of voice. And he was like, Charles was like, I don't want to change the key. And Lil Jon was like, let her do what she wants to do, you know. So, you know, we met, we hit it off right away. He's good people, and he was my A&R, so.
It's so dope. It's just so dope to see, like, how long of a career he's had, because I guess I didn't realize it until later, like, just doing more research and being more of a music head even more. Just realized, I'm like, dang, he was out in the 90s as well. It wasn't just the two, because so many people are like, oh, he was big in the, you know, he got famous in the 2000s. I was like, nah, he really.
He's been doing his thing for a minute.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a minute now, researching. But, you know, people are just ignorant when they don't know.
He discovered me, so.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He has good ear.
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to ask you, too, like, what was one of your favorite videos to shoot out of all your videos, would you say, that you just enjoyed the most?
Oh man, that's so hard to pick. You know what? I didn't get the same director 3 times. I
Okay.
thought that we were going to pick up with Love You Down. I thought we were going to pick up the story because we kind of did another treatment to pick up with Time After Time to like
Okay.
continue the story,
Uh-huh.
but they went a different direction. They wanted to be more artistic and stuff like that because I'm kind of like a hippie type of chick most
Yeah.
times. Um, so the favorite one, I love all of them. I love every experience, you
Yeah, because
know?
they're all
So it's
different and
hard to pick a favorite because each one has its own lesson or its own gift. You know, like the
hmm
first video, that's your first video and you don't know how everything works. And I really had to act, you know, for the first time and stuff like that, like in the library and being coy and all
like
that stuff. I thought that was cute. I was knocked out. That video took a long time to shoot. When the
really?
last
Huh.
scene with Kappas are in it, I was
Yeah.
sleeping in the director's chair. I was just sleeping there like, INOJ, it's time. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So if I look sexy, it's because I was asleep. And I literally opened my eyes and started singing, it never really mattered too much. And I was kind of like in that zone. You know? So, yeah, that was fun. Time After Time, I was in New York. And I shot it at that place, The Perfect Murder, wherever that was filmed. It was like a whole vibe.
Yes.
Lil Jon was there again.
That-
My manager was in the video. Another person that was influential to me in music, Monica, she was in that video. It was great. It was
uh-huh.
so cool to be in New York. There was a dead rat on the scene. Didn't like that. Freaked out. They were like, "Come on, time's running." And I was like, "I gotta calm down first." So I'm like,
And I
so
like to use the cobblestone too in it.
yes,
I love
exactly.
that.
Wasn't
Yes.
it? It was so pretty, and you see me get
Uh-huh.
the texture, so that's why I love that
hmm
video. Then LA for Ring My Bell. Even though I didn't want to do that song,
Yeah.
the video was fun. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. I had
It
a
looked like
car.
fun.
It was great. And it was setting me up for the tour with Nsync. So that kind of, worked out. It was,
Yeah, and it's so funny you say that about Ring My Bell, because that space you use with the diner,
yeah.
I've seen it in 2 recent videos.
Ah,
Iggy Azalea's video, and it's one other new singer. She's a pop singer with blonde hair.
I just saw that recently. I was like, oh my God, I saw
Yeah,
another
and
video there.
it's so funny because it brought right away when I seen both of those videos came out like relatively close. I was like, yo, that's Ring My Bell. That's where that was shot. And everyone's like, what
Yes.
are you talking about? And I'm like, you don't know music. I'm like, yeah. But it was so funny. Like it's really used a lot for a lot of dope, either music videos, movies, or commercials. I'm sure.
And I
But
wasn't the first. Someone else had done it too, and they're like, oh, this is a
uh-huh.
cool spot. And I was like, yeah, I really liked it a lot. There was a group, it's an old group that I used to listen to, and they were like the Jacksons, like the
Okay.
Jackson 5. They were called the Silvers. And
Okay.
I liked their sound too, and I listened to a lot of songs. There have been a couple samples with
hmm
Misdemeanor from Foster Silver. So
Okay.
I've been attracting this experience. I'm so certain of it. So the lead guy in that video was one of the Silver's sons. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my god. So that was even better experience.
It's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah. It was
That's
cool.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you too, like, how was it though opening for NSYNC? What was that like? Because they were like booming too at that time. I feel like they were just starting to really, because I remember at first like Backstreet Boys were popping, and then NSYNC came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, they didn't come out of nowhere. They did their work to get there too.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
worked their butt off.
They did. They worked. Backstreet, NSYNC, all of us used to do shows together before the tours because I was on tour with Backstreet for a couple of dates and NSYNC. But we all used to do shows together, like B96, like all the radio jams and stuff.
Yeah,
We would all be there. It was so much fun. It was like going to the School of the Arts or something.
yeah. Those are the glory days. Those
Yes,
were
Aaliyah, we did a lot of shows together. We got really close, being on the road. God rest her soul.
yeah.
Beautiful spirit. She was so, not just pretty aesthetically, but just she had a beautiful heart too.
Everyone says that. I
Yep,
know that says that knows her. Like she was one of the sweetest people.
it was because like when you're
Genuine.
a new kid on the block,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people look at you a little, and and like I told you, I'm a little introverted, so I'm kind of sitting up. She came to me and started befriending me, you know, so I could feel included, you know.
That's awesome to hear. Like that, I so wish I was like 5 years older, because I didn't go to my first concerts until like 98 or 99, I think. But my mom wouldn't let me go to a lot. She's like, "You're too young," and I was like, "I just want to go. Buy me a single ticket. Just drop me off." Like, I can't like leave you alone. She's like, "You're 9, 10 years old. I can't do that." And I used to be so mad. And she's like, "No, you're not going. You're too young. It's gonna hurt your ears." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
Yeah, I would
she was
just listen. But
protecting
then,
her baby.
yeah, I was too much of a bait. And she's like, "Play with your toys." I'm like, "I don't want my toys. I want to go." You know, I always want to ask you too, because I feel like the late 90s and maybe a little of the 2000s, but I always wanted to go because I know a lot of artists always performed at like Spring Break, MTV, or all those type of shows like for spring. How are those?
That was
'Cause-
cool. Jersey Shore, like that
uh-huh.
area, that's fun. I did Lilith Fair. I mean, like all the cool venues. I've been to all of them. It's really a blessing, you know, to
Yeah.
look back and be able to say that I had a part in experiencing some of that too. So that was really cool. Um, I always felt overdressed for like the MTV type of things. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be just like hanging loose, and I was always styled for that. So very uncomfortable. Like right, I have what I have on now: t-shirt, ponytail,
Uh-huh.
and booty shorts. You can't see that because I have this on, but it's kind of comfortable, you know, just being like that instead of being put together. I didn't like that part so much, but yeah. Otherwise, it was fun. You meet a lot of people. Fergie, before she was Fergie, she was in a group called Wild
Wild
Orchid.
Orchid.
So
Yep.
we used to do a lot of shows with her too. It's just kind of cool to see how everybody's grown and kept going.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's funny you said, because a lot of people don't know Wild Orchid, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"You don't know Wild Orchid?" I'm like, "It's supernatural. At Night I Pray."
exactly. And I
Yeah, like, and people don't, and they're like, "No, she was new." I'm like, "No, she wasn't. You
no, people
put
have been
on."
on their grind, you know?
Yeah, it's never overnight for no one. I feel when
Never.
people say it's an overnight, I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, just do a little research and you'll see. Go on YouTube. You'll really
Yeah,
find anything now. So
really.
literally, like just about everything. But you know, what are some of you? Who would you say were you closest with, artist wise, at that time? Would you say?
Aaliyah would be one of them.
That's all. That's amazing.
Yeah, because we would go out together after the sets and stuff like that. Trying to think who else. I didn't really hang out too much.
Hmm.
Lance would be the closest guy in Nsync that I
Okay.
was hanging out with when we were in New Orleans. We hung out the whole night, and Joey too, actually. Justin was kind of young too.
Hmm.
I used to hang out with Marquise. It was like, yeah, Marcus Houston.
Marcus Houston.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of all the people that shows because usually you're doing a show and then you're going to the next show. But if you
Yeah.
like when we were in Vegas together, I can't remember if it was him that I remember they weren't 21 yet and they wanted to come into the casino and I was like, you can't come with me.
Coming.
I'm grown. um, yeah, and there's some other people I just don't even care to mention, but
That's awesome. Yeah, that I just like I said, I wish I was born in like early '80s rather than the late '80s, just to experience. Like, yeah, the 2000s were good, but I feel like, well, no, the early 2000s were good, but like the late
yeah,
2000s, they were. That's when music was kind of shifting a
it
little.
was. It
Yeah,
was.
like it wasn't what. Because I remember like requesting your video on the box.
The
And my mom would get
box.
mad.
The
She would,
box.
she would have a whole bunch of charges, and I'd be waiting there for like 2 hours for like, you know, your video requesting. And she'd be like, "What are these charges?" I'm like, "Oh, the box, you know." And she's like, "What's the box?" I'm like, "It's a music
What's your
video
mom's
station."
Venmo? We need to give her some.
What did
What's your mom's Venmo?
Oh, I would be always buying videos, and you know, it always took like a good hour or two for it, because I guess I didn't realize at that age, like, oh yeah, it's gonna take a while because this is broadcasted nationwide. But and like you said, VH1, pop-up video, and I mean all the shows. I mean, like I said, MTV, the Spring Break. I used to religiously come home from school and watch that. Like, be excited for Spring Break for that. Like,
Exactly. I was
yeah,
on Bill Bellamy's show too.
I remember
Um,
this. Yeah,
yeah, what was that show called? Dang it! It just slipped my mind.
It.
You know.
I know it. I remember the setup. I remember.
Yeah.
I had to look it up after.
Dang it! I can't remember. I forgot.
Yeah. But what was one of your favorite
I was
shows?
gonna
Would you
say
say?
IRL, but it's not that. Wasn't that? What did you say?
What would you say one of your favorite like shows you got to perform on that was like on the network?
Jenny Jones was fun.
Uh,
I did
that was in
Ricky
Chicago,
Lake.
right?
Ricky Lake was cool. Yeah. My
Yeah.
family's from Waukegan. I know that area very well.
Oh, so you're.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually in Evanston this time of year.
It's
With
so
my
crazy.
family. Yep. So that's like home.
I'm right by White Sox Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's
literally.
so cool down there.
Yeah.
I was down there last year, I think, just hanging out.
Yep.
I
I'm
love
literally
that.
like
It's
a
such a
couple
cool
blocks
vibe.
away.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Yeah, because I was at the game. So
Okay.
I got a chance to see everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild.
That's good.
Yeah,
We definitely have to link up once this is all the
exactly.
craziness is over. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
maybe
And
2021 or something.
yeah, hope. Yeah, I want to ask you too. Like, so many. Like, I wanted you because I bought a ticket to this, and I bought the $500 ticket because I wanted. It was called the Super VIP package because I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted you on the lineup, and you weren't on there, and I was like, man, why isn't
What?
mine on? There was
Which
the
show was
Lovers
that?
and Friends
What?
Fest. The Lovers and Friends Fest. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh
Are
my
you
God!
serious right now?
It was in LA. It was going to happen in May, and then they pushed it back to, I think it was August. But now they just canceled it. I got the whole
I was
refund.
supposed to be on that show?
No. I'm saying I
Oh.
wanted you
I was like,
because they had a whole bunch of. It was all like mostly older art. It was like TLC was headlining, Little John with Usher and Ludacris.
oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and it was like Ashanti. No, it wasn't Ashanti. It was like Maya, Monica, Little Kim, Foxy, Mace. I mean, Frankie J, Baby Bash. It was a whole bunch of.
Oh yeah, that's.
It was the first festival of this, and I was kind of like I like a lot of artists, but then they were throwing in new artists, I guess, to get the new. They had like Megan Thee Stallion. They had like Summer Walker
Oh, yeah.
and Doja Cat, I think. But I was like, oh, they're
I
still
like both of
missing.
them though.
Yeah, no, they're dope artists. I mean, to the new audience, the new crowd, the new age, they love them more. But me, I was like, she put even more, 90s, 2000s, because, that's what it was called. It was Lovers and Friends, so it was like a throwback
Oh yeah.
fest. But I hope they bring that, well, I hope they start it maybe next year, hopefully, and have it every year. And, like, hopefully you're on it, because you have to be on it. Like,
That would be fun. I did
Yeah.
a couple of Funk Fest.
Okay.
I did a lot. I performed a lot in 2016. I went out a lot with Thrill from 69 Boys.
Uh-huh.
So I was doing a lot of shows with them. So I did Funk Fest, and then we did I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a legacy show or something like that. And like all the people I loved were on there. Kid and Play was on there. I was like, oh my
Oh,
God.
like, yeah, those are the best.
ZJ Fad. I about fangirl. I almost lost my shirt. I was like, oh my gosh, I love you guys. So I have a picture of us, and I have a heart over my chest because my shirt literally was falling off. I didn't even know it opened up when I was hugging them. So yeah. And then the movie Breakin'.
Okay, yeah.
Like, this is when I was a little kid. Like, Breakin', Turbo. Did you ever see that movie?
I seen it. I don't remember.
Well, he's the guy that's doing the breaking with the broom and stuff like that.
Okay.
He was at the show. I was like, oh my God. It was cool for me to see,
Yeah.
So
I want to ask you, how is it performing, like, the old music? Like, how is it with the reaction? Because it's like you never lost a day. It seems like yesterday, Love You Down was released.
Oh, my performance is way better than that first day. I'll tell you that. I have a pretty good show. I was in the Philippines in 2018.
Okay.
So I did I headlined an hour-long show. So yeah, I'm good on the performance part.
But like, how is it though? Like, just the crowd participation. How?
The crowd.
Yeah.
You know what? I always wonder. I was like, do they know who I am? I really still think that. And even when my song was really, really popular, I would think like, do they even know who I am? I didn't know, and I'd be in like the village or something, and then somebody would start, dancing and stuff, and my manager was like, they saw your video. I was like, do they know who I am?
Yeah.
That's just something I never really caught on to, you know. I'm
Yeah.
really just a regular chick, like for real, for
Yeah.
real. And then I
What?
get up on stage and sing, and then I get off stage and I become that regular chick again.
Take again.
So, yeah.
I want to ask you too. What were some of your favorite countries you got to perform in that you didn't think? Like a lot of people in the U.S. are closed-minded. I feel with international success. You could have
Right.
way more success international than
Yes.
U.S. and the money's way better.
And
Way
I
better.
want to do more because I like to travel. I've only been to the Philippines and Asia, but I've wanted to go to Japan because my record did really well there because
Okay.
it was released there, and I've always wanted to go to Japan. And I was scheduled to do a show there, and then they had that big earthquake, and then
Oh
that show
yeah.
got canceled. But other than that, I've only been to Tijuana in Mexico, which was awesome. That
Awesome.
was so
Yeah. Good.
fun. I had tequila for the first time.
Okay. Oh, you had the authentic tequila
Oh,
too,
yeah.
the real stuff out there.
I did not sleep. I was just I was lunching. And then like Toronto, I've been to Canada more times.
Okay.
Like in Florida, Texas, California, those are like the states I go to most frequently. Any
Okay.
place where it's warm. Hawaii was beautiful.
Imagine.
But every time I go to Toronto, the first time it was warm, but the second and the other time it was freezing. I
Hmm.
was doing a New Year's Eve show, and it was me and Deborah Cox, who's beautiful too, lovely,
Yes.
love Deborah Cox, and we were there for the ball drop, and I had on shorts, thinking I was cute in Toronto. I know I had icicles on my buns.
But
I was cold. But it was so cool. It was one of the best shows like setups ever because it was a big circle and I performed like in a circle to everyone there and they were cold and they were cheering. They loved it. The energy was great. I love that show.
I still have to visit Toronto. Everyone tells me, and every time I see a production, it's a beyond amazing. Like their show productions are,
They got it.
yeah, they beat the U.S. by
They know what they're
far.
doing.
Yeah, like they're just on point. Like between catwalks and different staging that the U.S. I feel doesn't even think of sometimes.
They're
And
about the drama because they give you a
yeah,
sachet. Everybody wants a sachet. You know?
yeah, everyone
So,
wants a full show.
yeah.
But I want to talk about too. Since the '90s, you've been dropping music.
Yeah, I
You've been
haven't.
like, yeah, what between what like 2017 and 19, I feel you dropped a lot of singles. So like,
Dang, that's so nice of you to say. I didn't think it was a lot. I felt like you should be doing more. You should be doing more. I have so much music,
I could
and
imagine. Yeah.
I'm always releasing songs. Um, when you have a team, they want it to be in the right timing. I just say, just
Hmm.
let it fly. I'm not really the success that I had before. I mean, it would be nice if I had that, but
Hmm.
this is my own little machine. It's not like a major label. This is my own thing. I just want music. I want my music to change people's hearts and to, I want to feed people's souls with my music. So that's
Hmm.
kind of what I've always wanted to do. And now I can do that. So, yeah, I just try to drop little things and try, really, if I can let you in some behind the scenes,
Okay.
I'm just trying to help people navigate to where I'm going and where I'm growing. People want to hear me do that old style and I'll give them a little bit, but I'm like, no, check out what I like to do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, because you grow as an artist, you're not going to stay. That
yeah.
I
Can I
mean, you
grow?
could, like you said, you come back and forth with it, but not the consistent, like you were saying, that beat from the '90s, which is a lot of artists use today, but you
They
may
do.
not want to use it constantly. Like Sierra uses it all the time
Yeah.
with a lot of her songs, because
And I like that.
yeah,
And I think that's cool, but there's so much more to me as an artist.
hmm
And every song, if you noticed, except for Ring My Bell, I'm singing slow. I like slow jams.
yeah,
Time After Time is low key slow too.
yeah. No, it definitely is. Yeah.
When I recorded Love You Down and Time After Time, I didn't record them to a beat. I recorded them slow so I could
Mm-hmm.
vibe with it, and so I could sit, you know, into the pocket a little bit better. And then we amped it up after. So
Mm-hmm.
I like a vibe. I love a
No,
vibe.
definitely. And it's funny because it's come back, I feel, so much with the vibe music.
Yeah.
Like with, you know, Jhené Aiko, Summer Walker, SZA. It's a vibe
Love.
now. Like,
Everybody that you're saying, I love. I'm such a
uh-huh.
fan of all of them too.
Yeah,
Her.
like who would you love to collaborate with from today's industry that you would just think would be a dope duet, or even like someone to write with or produce with?
Janae Aiko would be one because I'm a
Okay.
big fan of her. I really love her vibe, and she's kind of into a lot of stuff. We both like do sound bowls and stuff like that. I'm into like a lot of like metaphysical kind
Mm-hmm.
of vibe stuff. I like that. Um, her also.
Her, yep, her.
Um, there was somebody else I was thinking of just recently, but I don't know. There's this guy I really like the way he sings. He sings a song called Naked. James.
Uh,
You know what I'm talking
uh, I know you're talking about James. Hold on.
Oh, I was gonna say, let me look at my phone, but my phone's right here.
I,
Um,
James. Oh, I
oh,
think I interviewed him. It's because you said that.
did you? He's dope. You know what
I
I'm
know you were
talking
talking about. I just can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really dope. I really like his vibe. I like his tone and everything. Yeah. So just
Okay.
what I could think of now, but I'm open to like doing so many different things. You know, just I like a challenge too.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do something I've never done before. That would be kind of cool.
Dope. Yeah. And how was it like re-recording "Love You Down"? Because you had it titled as Y.
LYD.
Yes. How was that for you? Just getting back in the studio and you know the new generation of it. It's crazy. It's a timeless song.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to do something to commemorate the 20 year,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
I really did. I sang it in a higher key, something better for me. But I felt like I was a little more aware of my sensuality
Mm-hmm.
in the song, you know. Before I wasn't, or I might have been a little too shy because of my age, but now it was a little more, you know.
Yeah.
So I did like that.
Oh,
Now,
was it James Arthur or was it Luke
yeah,
James?
James Arthur. I think
James
that's
Arthur.
his name.
Someone
I
said
think
that. Yep. Someone
Oh,
said in the
thank
comments.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot we could be reading
Yeah.
comments and stuff.
I know. I get
It
so much
is,
in the
yeah.
conversation, I forget to look.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. I got wrapped up. Hey, guys. Hey, what's up? Hey, Reggie. James. So, Reggie, he's on here. He's a DJ, too. He's like one of my BFFs from when I was in 7th grade. So, he's on
That's
here.
awesome.
Yeah, and we used to listen to music. You know how you said you were like really into music and stuff? We
Yeah.
would talk on the phone and be like, hey, did you hear that new edition song? You feel that? And we'd sing the songs on the phone. We were like all into music and stuff.
Yeah, I
So
wish I had a
I'm
friend like
connected a
that at
lot of
that young
stuff.
of age because I never had, no one would get it at my age. And I'm like, stop playing with toys, stop playing with video games, listen to music. And everyone's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'll just listen to myself. And
Well, music feeds my soul, you know?
yes,
You seem like one of those people too, where it just,
I love it. I don't
yeah.
think I could get through this time with what we're going through without music. No
No,
way.
there's no way. There's no way.
I would
And
go
you know
crazy.
what? People don't value the art as much until times like this when you realize
Hmm.
that you really need that to get through those song lyrics or that melody, or even if it's just an instrumental jazz riff or something that's speaking to your soul and helping you
Yeah,
get through overcoming depression, stress, anxiety, all of that. Music does it,
yeah.
you
And
know.
I would yell at friends recently because they're like, oh, I so wish I could go to this tour. I'm like, you wouldn't pay for a ticket on a normal day, but now because we're in quarantine, you want to go to all these shows. I'm like, you wouldn't even front the money for a concert. So,
Wow.
because I'm always that type, I'll go to shows by myself. I don't care. Like, if you don't want to pay for it, I'll pay if it's $100 or, you know, 200 or, you know, whatever, because I feel like I love it and you got to pay for good music, like, and a production. Like, tours aren't cheap, and people think, like, oh, $100 is a lot. I'm like, not in this day and age. Like back
No,
in the day,
not.
they were like $30, $40. I remember
I
in the
mean, you
late.
can't expect to pay $20 forever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I would. I always. I'm just the type of person, like, I don't care to take my money because I love music. I love the art. I don't care. And it's your well-being. You know, any artist, that's how they make their money, like touring.
It just like even getting in the club costs more than that. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, exactly. People pay
paying
$50
money for
to get in the club.
VIP. Yeah.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for a table with 3 bottles, but you
Yeah.
won't pay to see a dope artist with a dope production and dope opening acts. Like me, I love all of that. Like I that's the one thing I'm sad about is I can't. I've been watching all my old videos I've taken on my phone from concerts from the past like 10 years on my phone,
Wow.
just because I'm like, this is unfortunate what I have to, you know, because it is what it is right now, unfortunately.
Wow. Has
It's
it come to
just,
that?
yeah. But I wanted to ask you, what, like, what do you have planned music wise for this year, would you say? And then
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do in 2021?
Whew. Okay. Well, I was initially gonna release a song I wrote called "Matter"
Okay.
maybe about 2 years ago, and I did a regular kind of slow vibe, and then I did an EDM version
Okay.
with this really dope producer. He's a young guy, really dope. My husband's actually a producer too. I'm married, and
Uh-huh.
my husband's a producer. So we did the original, and then Edwin did the remix. So we were
Okay.
going to release that. I thought it would be out by now, but it just didn't seem right to release music right now during the time with everything that's going on. And I want
Yeah,
to be sensitive to everything that's going on in the world.
definitely.
So the new art will just have to wait just a little bit
Okay.
longer. But I am releasing new music. I'm actually doing a collab with Sold Out House. So I'm doing a house song.
Okay.
Actually, I think I'm doing two. So yeah, that's gonna
That's
be pretty
dope.
dope. Um, I don't know if you know this, but I do voiceovers. I'm a voice actress.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
I booked
Voiceovers
I
where the
booked some
money's at
I
too.
booked some stuff too. And I
Yes.
just booked something recently because I do like regular voices, talking like that, but
Hmm.
I do character voices. So recently someone said, "Hey, don't you do character voices? There's an audition for this role." And it's kind of like for a Muppet role or whatnot.
Okay.
So I just did my character reel. I just sent him something quick and she liked it. And then I got the lead role of
That's
the
dope.
star. Kind
Congrats.
of cool. And I saw the preview. She just sent it to me the other day. She's like, sneak peek. I was like, oh my God, I'm a
Okay.
Muppet. I'm a freaking Muppet. It was so cool. Because I've always thought, like, oh, I would love to be on Sesame Street as one of the voices or something like that.
Yeah.
And here I am. I'm this Muppet character. So I hope to be doing more of that too, And I would like to incorporate the singing with, the voice
Yeah,
acting.
the voice. Yeah, voiceover where it's at.
I love it.
Like, because you don't have to get dressed. You just record. And the money I hear from voiceover is the best out of acting, music. I just heard it's amazing. Like, well, yeah, it's good to have that passion for it, but
Yeah.
hey, why not have money as well? Like,
I like it because I started writing, like becoming an author because I
hmm.
write songs. I have a lot of stories to share, so I started writing, and I never really saw myself as an author or anything until this year. I got into a writing group, and we had to perform our stories, so that
That's
helped me get
dope.
very comfortable. And everyone in the group was like, "Your stories are amazing." And I love the way you deliver them. So I said, I really need to take this more seriously. So
Hmm.
I just kind of immersed myself in it a little bit more, and I started getting work. So
That's super dope. Like you said, you're expanding too. Like you're doing different. Because so many people think like you could just do music, and it's like, well, once you do it for so long, you could do
yeah,
other lanes of entertainment. It's so
yeah.
much out there. But your music could be your home, but to do other things, it's not. So many people get caught up on that, and I'm like, I don't know why.
I mean,
Well,
I'm an artist in all forms. I paint, I
yeah,
draw, I write. That I just have to create. I made this.
yeah.
I mean, when I tell you, since I can't do everything that I want to do, like when we were talking about in the quarantine before,
Hmm.
you gotta use that energy somewhere. You have to express
Definitely.
yourself. So, if you're gonna do modern dance, go ahead and do that. Just continue to express yourself and continue to evolve and expand and grow because
Hmm.
we have so much to lend, the world
Yep.
with our creativity. We're not creative genius, I should say.
Yep. And we have all the time right now. Really, no one has an excuse not to take this time to do some
Yeah,
dope stuff in the arts. I feel like
yeah.
this is the perfect opportunity to start something if you ever wanted to.
You're right.
It's it's just weird. I can't wait to see when it's over. When people are like, "Oh, I wish," I'm like, "Come on, you know you could have done it." Like, you had more than
Yeah.
enough time because it's going to be probably a whole year of not really, doing stuff in the house and make the best out of it.
Yeah. I was
But
actually going to sing on a show with my husband. He's performing tomorrow night on a live show. They have their
okay,
mask on and everything, but it didn't work out that I was going to sing. Maybe next time I'll sing with them, but that's probably where we're going,
yeah,
and
that's the
doing
new
more
wave
live
right now.
shows like that, and just being creative and stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying to think outside the box. You
Exactly.
might come up with something really
Don't
innovative.
know. Yeah.
Yep.
But, I don't want to take all your time up. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
I know it's the weekend, so I know you
Yes.
want to turn up a little for the weekend, but I want to thank you so much for this. I've always wanted to interview you. It's
Well,
an
thank
honor. I
you.
appreciate it. I hope to meet you in the future. We can definitely, link up or at a show. And, stay healthy, stay safe, stay blessed,
You
and
too.
I appreciate it.
Yes, I do too. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in and
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.